Hi, I'm Nick from Sundance, and I'm going to introduce the new 49-foot crossover. The crossover is a fiberglass cruising trimaran, and it's powered by an inboard diesel engine. It's different in many ways than any other yacht out there. The styling, the construction, and the price we think are all pretty revolutionary. So first, a little background. About a year ago, we built a one-off concept boat which we called the Waterloft. The crossover is dramatically different from the Waterloft in many ways, like hull shape, propulsion, and intended use. However, the cubic styling of the superstructure is very similar. So if you've seen the old video, I recommend that you watch this one all the way through because this is really a different animal. So we developed the crossover in response to the out-of-control cost of conventional recreational yachts. Every year, manufacturers are adding more and more unnecessary stuff and pricing middle-class families out of the yachting market. Luxury yachts used to cost as much as a modest vacation home or a couple of car payments. The crossover brings those times back. It'll be about a third of the cost of most new conventional 50-foot yachts. With the crossover, we've been able to accomplish a high level of quality while keeping the boat affordable through smarter engineering and a very unique system of unibody construction, which I'll describe shortly. But first, let's take a look at the hull. Below the waterline, the streamlined tri-hull shape is very efficient and really stable. It's like having 3 canoes strapped together. It takes minimal effort to push, meaning it burns less fuel and requires a smaller and less expensive engine. Above the waterline, the hull has a high bow for cruising in rougher water. Speaking of which, the crossover is designed for cruising in protected saltwater like the Puget Sound and San Juan Islands, and of course rivers, lakes, and everything in between. So the cubic styling of the house allows for a very spacious and very comfortable one-level interior. There are high ceilings throughout, and the salon has big windows for lots of natural light. The helm has excellent visibility and even transom visibility for docking. The U-shaped galley is expansive and complete with a breakfast bar and lots of cabinets. Walking into the head, there's more than initially meets the eye. The first thing you'll notice is the big, rich shower. But this shower is unique. You can pick up the floor and clip it to the wall, and there's a tub underneath. And across the hall is the second stateroom. Like the head, there's more here than initially meets the eye. The top bunk can fold down, turning the bunks into a sofa and the stateroom into a sitting room. Or you can fold both bunks up into the wall, turning the room into a big walk-in closet. And you can fold this desk down from the wall, turning the room into an office. So it's one room with 4 different uses. And moving aft, the master stateroom is great. It's big, it has lots of light, aft cockpit access, big hanging lockers, and a vanity. The rooftop deck is accessed from the aft cockpit. The top deck is nearly 300 square feet of great entertaining and sunning space, and that's not even including the raised areas at each end. These raised areas are perfect for solar panels or sun pads. The teak planking on the sides and in the cockpits is actually molded into the fiberglass, so the planking is fiberglass. That means there's no maintenance. Now I'll describe the unibody construction. The crossover is built from 5 major fiberglass parts and a number of smaller fiberglass parts. When bonded together, these parts are engineered for incredible strength, and many of these parts serve multiple purposes. To illustrate this, I'll walk you through the assembly process. We start with the hull. We designed this hull shape to be not only hydrodynamic in the water, but structural as well. There are 6 hull sides, so it's very stiff fore to aft because the hull sides are like 6 giant stringers. We then bond in 15 fiberglass boxes. These boxes are bonded on the bottoms to the hull bottoms and fiberglass to the hulls in all 4 corners. So that gives us 30 bulkheads in 3 hulls, which is incredibly strong. And these boxes serve a few purposes. 4 of them are tanks, 1 is the engine room, 1 the generator room, and the rest are the underfloor storage, all accessible from the interior. We then fill all the gaps between the hull and boxes with a waterproof closed cell foam. This foam is structural, sound deadening, insulating, and it even makes the boat unsinkable, although we really don't recommend trying to sink it. Next, we install what we call the lower liner. It gets bonded to the hull and to all 15 boxes. The lower liner has the layout molded in as well as the grid that the floor panels drop into. The floor panels throughout the boat are on a hinge with a gas shock for easy access to the storage boxes. The bulkheads, or walls, are then bonded in, followed by the upper liner. The upper liner is a stiffener for the superstructure, and it also has the layout molded in. The house part is then installed, followed by the roof part. The lower liner, upper liner, and house are all bonded together, and the roof is bonded to the upper liner and house. And all of that is why we call it unibody construction. So there are a few reasons we went to all this trouble to make the crossover unibody. It allows us to make the boat lighter weight and use less materials, but most importantly, it saves a couple thousand hours in labor over conventional yacht construction. In other words, we've invested time and energy up front to build complex molds, to dramatically simplify production, and offer a more affordable, high-quality yacht. Before I finish, I'll give you the specs. The crossover is 49.5 feet long and 14.5 feet wide. The standard engine is a Volvo D3 170 horsepower inboard diesel. We expect cruise to be very efficient at about 10 knots. Bow and stern thrusters are standard and make docking very easy. The fuel, water, and waste tanks are 140 gallons each. A generator and heat and air conditioning are options, but they'll be easy adds because we've designed the boat to accommodate them. We've also designed it to handle gray water tankage very easily for those of you boating in areas sensitive to gray water discharge. So if you're looking for a great cruising yacht that is affordable, quality, and stylish, the crossover is definitely worth looking at. We expect to have our first one complete in July and more available by the end of the year. Shortly after I get this video posted, I'll be updating our website with introductory pricing info, and we'll be ready to start taking pre-orders. So that's it. Thanks for checking out the crossover, and please contact us at Sundance if you have any questions.